Hello and well.
Ryo. Introducing us this time. Whatever.
And we're in Panzer Dragoon Saga, episode 2.
Really?
Yeah, the special thing. And it actually has the same music as episode 3 from Panzer Dragoon 2.
Huh.
And I'm playing as Mobo on his worm.
Why?
Because I can. That's the only reason why. What's interesting about Mobo, his lock shots actually have the power of the heavy wing. And his like quote-unquote gunshots cover quite a lot of ground actually. I actually like the fact that they kept it like a booger shot as opposed to making it a gun, like every single other dragon has.
So, what I'm getting out of this is that literally everyone in these games is a rail shooter protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
Every person.
Well, you know, Mobo actually gets his little mini game, which actually doesn't suck. Where you ride on your ball door.
I refuse to believe that.
Yeah, it's one of the few mini games in this game that don't suck. And here, if you wanted to go to the worser path, you have to stick to the left.
Which you're doing.
Which I'm doing right now because I didn't show this earlier. I'm gonna suck a little bit more on this one because I'm so unused to doing this route.
And you know you're controlling him.
Yes, he's not quite as swift as the glide wing, which I would have much rather used for this section. Essentially, it's just avoid obstacles. The things are gonna come at you from above. You can see them on the radar, but there aren't too many enemies, and none of them will carry the level up thingamajigs.
So wait, the bonus characters can level?
No, but I mean, when they can't. But I mean, if you were doing this on your regular run, you wouldn't get anything.
Oh, I get you.
That's basically the case for all of the routes that aren't A routes.
Aha. I think you sped up the footage here, young man.
No, I didn't.
Really?
No, it just goes this fast. Well, you know, this game runs at super butter smooth 60 frames a second, so.
Try 120.
That's kind of what happens when you record it in M2TS and try to put it in Sony Vegas. It will think that everything is fucking 120 frames a second.
Which is what, the people who try and upload those results on YouTube. Why?
Like, what you mean?
I don't know.
Like people trying to comparison between 60 frames and 30 frames on YouTube.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Because it'll totally get you everywhere.
Yeah, also, I hate when people try to compare, like, well, for example, I've seen this comparison between the PAL and NTSC between Super Mario 64, the European and the American version, but done on an emulator.
That's a laugh.
You just can't do that because the emulator is way too perfect. And 64 never displayed everything in 30 frames.
Indeed.
Actually, if anything, at many times with those old games, the European version would be more stable and would actually run exactly the same. Especially in the generation of PS1 and 64. it was just the frame rate was so terrible that you didn't even notice the slowdown. And here is something that I didn't show of the earlier time. They will actually like form obstacles along the way, but normally I just kill them before they do that.
Ah.
They would do that in a couple different ways. But the thing is, if you take too much time, you will just get out of this area and not be able to kill them, which of course counts to your shoot-down ratio.
Right. So how many hits can this guy take? Like 4?
He can actually take quite a beating. Not as much, I would say, as the boss fight against him would suggest. But he's still not quite as weak as some of the other forms you can use. But there are also well, so far I'm making it seem like every single optional form is kind of suck. There are a couple that are actually better or pseudo better. They can be better in some ways, or they're super in one way but kind of suck in the other. Sadly though, because you do get the dragon from Panzer Dragoon Saga, one of them, they chose the Panzer Wing. Which is not the ultimate one. It's like 4th one on the way.
Aww.
Well, I kind of I like the design, but it's oh, and here is the cutscene I was talking about earlier with it becoming kind of silly. He's talking to a small version of himself. This is hilarious.
Oh my god.
That's another thing. This game never really keeps the scale very well. It's like if you look at the people in the first level, yes, there are some people and they're super tiny. Like Orta is the size of like 3 people stuck upon one another.
Wow.
She's so huge. Or they just misscaled her, the same as they misscaled her dragon between the FMVs and the gameplay.
Well, clearly, because the dragon has the ability to change size and shape at will, so too must its pilot.
Probably. Or maybe she just changes along with it.
Yeah.
If she doesn't change along with it for the FMVs...
Well, I mean, why would you? There's no point.
I guess she prefers her small look to be pretty.
Yeah. I mean, when you're a half-breed between a drone and a human, you gotta take what you can get.
I guess it's probably the reason why they filmed all of the FMVs in 240p.
Yeah. Do all my work for me. Quick.
No. They do help. Not so much, but they do help. They do something.
As in, bark orders at you.
They throw they throw some projectiles whenever they fly around, and they actually do damage. Not so much, but they're almost not useless.
Almost.
Almost.
Good, it's working.
And that is that.
And we'll never see that weird jellyfish thing again.
A dragon mare. Funny thing, you can actually play as dragon mare.
Oh.
Yes.
I imagine though that in order to unlock him you have to get an S rank. I guess you're out of luck, Nico.
No, Stan, I do get him. I did have him. I do. Stop doing such.